Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into Elon Musk's AI, Grok. Specifically, how you can get your hands on the free version, like right now. We've got a really helpful guide here, sort of our map for understanding this tool, our mission. Pretty simple, really. Just to give you the essential info on what Grok AI is, how you can try it without paying, what it can do, where the lines are drawn, and maybe a little glimpse of how it could eventually, potentially, boost your workflows. Especially when we mention a platform called Latenode. Just keep that name tucked away for later.
Yeah, it's interesting how fast AI is becoming more accessible, isn't it? Grok, running on the Grok 3 model, it's not just another chatbot. The key thing is its connection to real-time X data, Twitter. That gives it this super current viewpoint.
Right. Instantly knowing what's buzzing.
Exactly. Think about what that means. Tapping into the pulse of things immediately. So it's not just chat. It could be, well, pretty powerful for things like creating timely content, analyzing breaking news super fast, even maybe streamlining some business stuff with really up-to-date insights.
Totally. So, okay, you're thinking, sounds cool. How do I try it for free?
Yeah.
Our guide makes the first steps really clear. First thing, you need an X account. And it has to be phone verified, so no anonymous accounts.
Right. Adds a layer of accountability.
And your account needs a bit of history. Got to be at least 7 days old before you can get in. You can use it on your computer or your phone, either way.
Yeah. Those requirements, they probably help stop misuse, and putting it right on X means there's already a user base there. Simple access point.
Getting started is pretty easy once you've got those things sorted. Just log into your X account. On a desktop, look for the Grok icon, left sidebar usually. On the mobile app, it's typically in the bottom menu. Tap that, and boom, you're looking at Grok. And, classic Elon, he apparently said Grok 3 is free until our servers melt.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me want to check it out sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. That quote really highlights free access to this kind of tech. Might not last forever. So exploring it now makes sense if you're curious. And while it's on the X platform now, the fact they're working on dedicated iOS and Android apps, that shows they want to make it even easier to access down the line.
Okay, so what can this free version do? The guide points out some really useful stuff. Like if you're stuck staring at a blank page, it can help kickstart things. Drafting emails, maybe punching up marketing text, even outlining reports.
Content generation, yeah.
And if you like digging into data, it's got Grok Search and Deep Search for analyzing stuff in real time, even visualizing it. Plus, a fun one, it can make images. Got a built-in tool for that. And there's this think mode, which basically tells Grok, okay, take a second, think harder for more considered replies.
Yeah, those features really tap into what modern AI is good at. The content stuff shows its language skills, understanding and writing like a human. The data analysis, especially with that LiveX data, that's unique. Real-time insights. Image generation adds another dimension. And that think mode, it's interesting, suggests you can choose between a quick answer or a more deeply reasoned one. Speed versus depth.
But of course, free doesn't mean unlimited. There are restrictions. It's not an AI buffet. Our guide lays out the differences pretty clearly between the free tier and the Premium Plus plan, which is like $40 a month.
Okay.
So that's standard think mode. You get 10 uses every 2 hours for free. Premium Plus gets 100 a day. Big jump.
Wow.
Deep Search, limited to 5 uses every 2 hours free. Premium Plus gets 50 a day.
Right.
Then there's Big Brain Mode, sounds intensive. 3 uses per 2 hours free versus 20 a day on Premium Plus Image Analysis. 3 images daily free, but unlimited if you pay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Image generation is capped at 2 every 2 hours free. The guide doesn't list the Premium Plus limit here, but you figure it's much higher or unlimited. And lastly, Voice Mode. Not in the free plan. You need Premium Plus for that.
Yeah, that tiered access is pretty standard stuff for these services. The free version is like the entry point, right? Lets you kick the tires, see if it fits your basic needs, limiting the heavy-duty features like big brain mode or lots of queries. Well, that makes sense for managing their server load.
True.
And they mentioned a Super Grok plan, too, for $30 a month. So there's a whole range of paid options. And, an important point, these limits aren't set in stone. They might change depending on how busy the servers get. So what's free today might be different tomorrow.
Good point. Okay, let's go a bit deeper into what you can actually do with the free version. The search and analysis tools, that sound pretty cool. It pulls info from public X posts and does real-time web searches, so you get current stuff.
That combination is potent.
The guide mentions natural language processing, basically. You can talk to it normally.
Yep, no complex commands needed.
And real-time data analysis, though, with limits on searches. Plus, pattern recognition. Again, just the basics. So maybe you won't get a massive flood of insights, but you could start to spot trends, get a feel for market shifts.
Exactly. Even basic access lets you monitor public opinion on something or see what themes are popping up in an industry. It's about getting a taste of Grok's analytical power.
Then there are the content and data tools. Brock uses machine learning, the guide says, to make creating content and managing data easier. We're talking about generating first drafts of reports or marketing stuff, writing product descriptions, tasks that can really eat up time.
Yeah, huge time saver potentially.
It can also look at big data sets, the kind that make your eyes glaze over, and show you the info visually with dashboard widgets. Again, the free version lets you play with this, just gotta remember those usage caps.
That ability to generate content could be a real boost. Outlines, brainstorming slogans, whatever. And visualizing data, even basically, makes complex info way easier to grasp. The key with the free tier is exploring within those limits. Find out where it gives you the most immediate value.
Right. Now, this is where it starts to get really interesting connecting the dots. The guide mentions the potential for automating business tasks. It talks about the Grok 3 API, which isn't public yet, disclaimer, but eventually you could link it with your CRM, your ERP, your accounting software.
The core systems.
Yeah, things like Salesforce, HubSpot, SAP, Oracle, QuickBooks tools tons of businesses use every day. Imagine automatically tracking customer chats or streamlining resource planning, simplifying finances.
That's the dream, right? Automating the repetitive stuff.
The guide even throws in a stat about AI boosting global productivity
Yeah.
and says the free version lets you try out some basic automation ideas. But this is where Latenode, that name I mentioned earlier, comes back into the picture.
Precisely. Looking at the bigger picture, integrating AI like Grok with automation platforms, that's where huge potential lies. Automate the routine, manual tasks, free up people for more strategic, creative work. Those examples, CRM, ERP, accounting, show how deeply AI could get embedded in everyday business. Intelligent help at every step.
So, Latenode. The guide presents it as a platform built to work smoothly with AI, including Grok 3 once that API is out.
Whack.
It's all about making workflow automation easier, combining no-code simplicity with AI smarts.
Making it accessible.
Exactly. Think building automated processes by dragging and dropping stuff, not writing code. The guide highlights Latenode's key bits. A visual workflow builder, full free access to that, by the way.
Nice.
An AI code copilot if you do need some custom code help. A built-in database for workflow data, though free storage is limited. And get this, over 300 app integrations.
Wow, that's extensive.
So you can build data pipelines, automate content, make chatbots, personal AI assistants. The free Latenode plan lets you connect up to 3 of your other app accounts.
What's really great about Latenode is that focus on making automation usable for more people, the visual builder. That lowers the tech barrier way down.
Cool.
And that huge library of integrations is critical.
Mhm.
Real automation power comes from connecting different tools so they work together. Even the free limits, like storage or connected accounts, let you properly test it out and see the potential impact.
And the guide gives some really concrete examples of how Grok and Latenode could work together later on, like for customer support. It mentions using AI models and points out ChatGPT is already on Latenode to answer questions, keep track of chats. They even have a pre-built AI chatbot template on Latenode you can use today.
Oh, cool. So you can start now with other AIs.
Yeah. For content, imagine Grok finding top Google content, then Latenode using AI to make outlines, drafts, check quality, publish it. And again, they mentioned similar templates already on Latenode using tools like DeepSeek and Perplexity for content now.
Hmm.
And HR. Think Grok 3 summarizing job applications, then Latenode automating stuff like sending summaries to Slack, scheduling interviews using Google Calendar, and Gemini, another AI already on Latenode.
Right, Gemini integration.
And sending automated emails back to applicants.
These examples really paint a picture, don't they? The synergy is clear. Chaining different AI models in one automated flow, managed by something like Latenode, that's next-level automation. And the fact Latenode already has templates for similar things using other AIs means you get value right away. You don't have to wait for Grok's API for everything.
The guide also spells out the benefits of using them together. Cost savings, because you pay for processing time. Better workflows by linking AIs. Scalability, handling more work as you grow. And flexibility, connecting all those different apps. They even drop in a quote from someone called Beltane. praising Latenode's automation features, especially its use of Node.js, saying it stacks up well against Make and Zapier.
Yeah, that kind of feedback adds credibility, highlights its strengths, which is reassuring if you're looking for a solid automation tool, and those benefits cost, optimization, scaling, flexibility. Those are the big things everyone thinks about when implementing automation and AI.
All right, quick recap then. What do you get with free Grok AI? The guide gives us a little cheat sheet. Basic questions. Yep. 10 every 2 hours. Image analysis. Yes. 3 a day. Image generation. Yes. 2 every 2 hours. Deep search. 10 per day. And that think mode for deeper answers, also 10 palms per day.
Gotcha.
So definitely enough to get a feel for it, explore how it might help you without spending anything.
That's a clear summary.
Yeah.
Sets expectations for the free tier, lets you experiment strategically, and figure out if the limits work for what you want to do.
So how do you actually jump in and start using free Grok? 3 simple steps, according to the guide. 1, account setup. Get that phone verified X account, at least a week old.
Right.
2, platform access. Log in via the latest X app or go to grok.com. 3, feature exploration. Just start playing. Try deep search. Use think mode for tricky stuff. Generate some images, some text. See what happens.
Nice and straightforward.
The guide also wisely notes, to really unlock everything, keep an eye out for that Grok 3 API and how it'll link up with platforms like Latenode in the future. And hey, if setting up automated workflows sounds daunting, they mention you can find experts in the Latenode community to help.
Yeah, those steps make it super easy to start right now. And highlighting the future API and Latenode connection, that gives you something immediate to do, plus a view of the longer-term possibilities. Good approach.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, you should now have a pretty solid idea of how to get started with the free version of Elon Musk's Grock AI, what it can basically do. We've also looked ahead a bit at the pretty exciting potential of combining Grok when its API is ready with automation platforms like Latenode,
Yeah, lots of potential there.
hinting at some real chances to streamline your work and maybe get more done. So the final thought is this. With these AI tools getting easier and easier to access, how might you start testing the waters? Could you transform even just one annoying time-sucking task in your daily routine? We definitely encourage you to go check out Grok on X and maybe take a peek at what Latenode offers too, see what sparks an idea.